Hello and welcome to Moving to Thinkorswim Mobile. My name is James Boyd. I'm going to be your mobile specialist here today, and I might know something about mobile. Many of you do not sit in front of your computers all day, and you might want to have your phone or a tablet with you. That tablet could be a Samsung device or maybe an Apple iPad, etc. We'll be using the Apple iPad here today. So we welcome all of you. We actually have Ken Rose in the chat. Today's session is just going to be 20 minutes and just want to kind of talk about some quick features and how to get started using the mobile app from Thinkorswim. So let's go ahead and hop right in. Now, just real quick, remember, we're not going to talk about options, but if you trade options, those do carry a high level of risk, not suitable for all investors. Also understand that when we talk about investing, Schwab does not recommend the use of technical analysis as a sole means of research. And also remember that investing involves risk, including loss of principal. And also remember when we show examples, they are just that. And we will be using here today, as always, the Paper Money virtual trading platform. But we're going to be using the platform of the mobile. Now, just real quick as we hop right in, we want to kind of really talk about the next 4 classes that we're going to have, which is really getting into today, the Thinkorswim mobile platform overview and navigation. Next week, same time, same station, we'll talk about placing and managing stock trades. Now, today we'll talk about a stock trade, but next week we'll spend more time talking about how to do more of those and other examples. 2 weeks from now, we'll talk about placing and managing single option trades. And then also with that, we'll talk about placing and managing option spread trades. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and just hop right in to the mobile platform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share from my iPad. And the first thing I want to show you just real quick is where do you go to find the information? Where do I get the app? So I am using an iPad device. So on an iPad, you go to the App Store, okay? And for example, if you're on, let's say, a Samsung device, I think you go to Google Play, okay? And by the way, the App Store, which you can see, is going to be at the top left, and it's just going to say App Store. If I click on that App Store right there, you're now going to see that we get to this page. We're just going to go to the very bottom right and click on search. Now, what we're going to do is when we click on search at the bottom right, click search, we're going to just type in think or swim. Now, we don't have to type the whole thing out. You'll see it comes up automatically at the very top. So once I go to actually just type in Thinkorswim, I'm just searching for the Thinkorswim app. We'll click on that, and you're going to see that it's going to be the second one to the right, and it will say Thinkorswim. Now, if you have not downloaded it yet, it will say download. We have downloaded it already, and it says at the very top right, open, okay? And what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to click on open. Now, I don't want to log in yet. So when you download this for the very first time, I thought there was some important information that I want to share, okay? So what you're now going to see is when you download it, you're going to see on the second row, you will see the Thinkorswim icon right on your tablet, okay? Now, when you log into that for the first time, you're going to see 4 screenshots that I want to kind of just share with you. So the first thing is it will say mobile approve. So if you like to set an alerts or you want to get notifications, and this you will see when you log in for the first time, okay? Now what happens is if you want to get notifications, all you need to do is just say enable notifications, okay? The second screen that it will show you, do you want to do that, is biometrics. This is where you could use your finger to log in or maybe a face ID, etc. Many like that because, you know, sometimes you don't always remember your password. The third screen it actually shows is do you want to see it in a light theme, white, or do you like the dark theme? For our class today, we'll be using the dark theme. And the last one I think is important is if you would like to also get some in-app help, okay? These are screens that you will see when you log in, okay? And then you could say if you want to do those or not. Now let's kind of go back to this just real quick and let's look and see When we log in, and I'm going to go ahead and put my password here. Okay, everyone close their eyes. And what you're going to notice is once I log in, you're now going to see, now don't worry, it's a paper money account, is this will really be the home view when we log in. And I want to first kind of start with the top left. So first thing what we're going to notice is at the very top left, you're going to see where it says IRA, and it has a drop down. We can hit that drop down, and what you're first going to notice is it will show paper money or live trading. Now, first thing is you're going to see that we have underneath paper money that little gold color. We are on paper money, and right below paper money, you'll say all accounts, IRA margin. We are in the IRA account. If we wanted to just be in the margin account, I could click on margin, and now it's going to show the margin account. Okay. Now, if I clicked on that margin, I say, I want to see all accounts in the paper money. I'm going to click on all accounts, and it's just going to bring in aggregate both accounts together. So when you're using this for the first time, feel free to just practice it in paper. That's why we have it. Now, what I'm going to do is if we said, I want to do real, you're going to see, or live trading, we could just click on where it says live trading to the right. Okay. So quick notice there. Now, the other thing we want to do in this case is we see markets, okay, at the very top left. And now what this is going to do is right below this, it will show my position movers. So this is just taking what's in these paper money accounts and saying what is moving quite a bit. Crude oil is actually moving quite a bit to the upside. And what's down is the euro example. Okay. So that's what it's showing there. Now it's going to pull up anything in the account. It could be futures, it could be stocks, etc. Now you're also going to notice that right below my position movers, it says account balances. And there we're just seeing, 278,455. Now, if you were out and about, so yesterday I was doing a service project and you said, man, I brought my tablet with me or my phone, and I don't want other people potentially to see that balance, whatever, for any reason, if at all. We can click on the eyeball next to the balance, and what it does is it just dots it out. We could click on the eyeball again, and it's just going to ask us to type in our password, and what you're going to see in this case is it will just unlock that right there, and it will bring up the balance back again. Now, the one thing is also is you're going to see that if we scroll down, we can see examples like orders. Do we have any working or filled or canceled? So we can see today, right in the middle of the page where it says orders, we have 0 in green filled, 0. Below that, we can see calendar and news. Okay. Now, so this page right here kind of just gives us a snapshot of what is going on in the market, our positions, our balances, our orders. Okay. So really not that bad. Now, what you're going to notice also is let's kind of take our eyes now down to the bottom. What you're now going to see is we have at the bottom left, log out, we are on the overview page, okay? Just seeing an overview of the market and the portfolio. The second tab, I should say just to the right of overview at the very bottom, it's going to show watch list, okay? And this is where on the right-hand side, we can see a watch list. And the watch list that we have pulled up is really the Dow Jones, which we will show more of, okay? So if I just click on any of these stocks to the right, and you can see the list, if I click on Amazon, it loads Amazon. If we click on, for example, let's say Microsoft, it pulls up Microsoft. If we pull up Caterpillar, there's Caterpillar, okay? Immediate. We don't have to type in any symbol, just click on the symbol. Now, let's also go down to the very bottom. We're going to see just to the right, to the watch list, trade, which we're going to show in just a sec. So if we want to do, let's say, a trade, we could type in the symbol, okay, which we're going to come to. Positions, just to the right. This is now showing the positions that is in this portfolio, okay? And what you're now going to notice is on the very bottom to the right, let's just kind of see what it looks like, orders. You're going to see that if we have any orders that are working, which could be stops or targets, etc., working, filled, canceled. Guys and gals, this is just like what we see right on the desktop version and the web-based version of Thinkorswim. And lastly, if we just say, well, what happens when we click on more? Well, what you're now going to notice is we can set up alerts, balances, calendar, news, trader TV. Balances is going to give us information that will look like that. Click on more again. We could say, I want to go to Trader TV. We just had jobs report numbers here today. I want to be watching that to see what's going on. And I'll turn that down for just a moment. But we could watch that right on the iPad. And there's Schwab Network, CNBC, etc. We click on it to turn it on. We click off it, click on that icon to turn it off. Okay, now let's kind of talk about how would someone do a trade using the platform. So first thing what I want to do is I want to kind of just use those icons. Let's go down to where we can just click on the icon at the bottom, trade. And if I click on the icon at the bottom and I'm just going to type in AMZN, okay? And then press enter. Now, what you're going to notice is we have a screen that pulls up that shows us the information about Amazon. And we see that this is a stock example. No expirations or strikes, nothing, just stock, okay? Now, what you're going to notice is it's going to show that it has a buy. We can click on sell, change it back to buy. There's the order type that it is, okay? Day, or good to cancel, whatever you want. And let's just do a quick example. Let's imagine that we wanted to buy Amazon stock and we don't want to do 100 shares. Let's say we just want to do, let's say 10 shares. Well, if we did 10 shares, what you're going to notice is we can just update the number of shares to 10. And what we're now going to do is let's now go down to and it's going to show us the account. Okay. Do you want to do it in the margin of the IRA? Let's say we do it in the margin account. And if this is what we want to do at the very bottom right, we can click on where it says review. If I click on where it says review, it's now saying, are you okay with buying 10 shares of stock of Amazon at $184.74? Now we're going to come full circle now, okay? If we go down to the bottom right, you're going to see where it will say paper trade. And I'm going to click on that paper trade, and now you'll hear that it kind of had a little firing off sound. Now the question now goes to, where did it go? Well, let's go back to our overview page. Click on the tab at the bottom, overview. Now, remember we talked about on the overview page that we could see orders, okay? Well, if we just look in the middle of the page where it says orders, and we'll see one filled, one is in a green color. We could just click on the one filled, click on that, and you're going to now see that it takes us right to the orders tab and shows filled, Amazon, okay? And we could see that right there, okay? So just like we would on the desktop or the web-based version, get used to using the tabs at the bottom. Overview, watch list, okay? Trade, positions. Now, by the way, if I go to positions, where could we see the Amazon example? Well, what you're going to see is this breaks it down by account type. At the very top, the account, it's labeled IRA first. Now we can close that as well. If I click on, I only want to see on the margin account, the Amazon position, it's A to Z listed there. We can now see there's the 10 shares of stock right there. Now this is actually pretty amazing considering we're holding something that is no thicker than a pad of paper, and we're connected and being able to get potential fills on like stock trades and have all this information right in your hands, whether it's on a phone or a tablet. It is pretty amazing, okay? Now, the one thing I want to kind of show just real quick in closing here is if we just go to the right a little bit. Now, what you're going to see is at the very bottom right, there's an arrow that goes left and right, okay? And you could give yourself less room or more room on what, like in seeing more real estate to the right-hand side. I kind of split the screen, okay? And you'll see I'm just kind of dragging that at the bottom, moving it left and right. What I want to do is, how do you actually see a different list? Maybe you want to create your own list, and we're going to get more into this, okay? But let's say we wanted to say, James, I want to see the S&P 100, or I want to see my own list. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And before I do that, the very top right, you're going to see a bunch of little dots. You're going to see that it'll show grid, okay? Compact. You'll see that it also will show heat map. And what you're going to notice is just like we have on the desktop, if we said of all the Dow stocks, which one is the strongest so far based upon color, it is Amazon, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into this right now, but you can also make column headings like we do on the desktop, and you're going to see that we have columns like 10, 30, 10 hold, 20 hold to the right-hand side, and really that's kind of showing us what we see on the desktop version as well. We'll get into that. It's pretty interesting. Okay, now, how do we actually change it, though? When I click on Dow Jones Industrial Average in closing, what you're now going to notice is we're on the public list. Let's say we want to go down to the S&P 100. And now what it does is it changes it to the S&P 100. We could see the list of stocks, and we can also rank them by the net change or however we want to rank them. James, I want to also look at the heat map of the S&P 100. What's moving? There's Meta moving pretty well, AMD, Netflix, et cetera, GE, okay? Last thing, if I said, well, what about a personal list? If I click on the S&P 100 and I say, I don't want to see a public list, I want to click on the back arrow, I want to go to a personal list, okay? Or I want to create a new watch list. You'll see right at the very top in that gold color, create new watch list. And we could just create that new watch list right there, okay? Now, I'm out of my time here today. We wanted today to give us really an idea of just getting an overview of some of the capabilities and features of really using the Thinkorswim mobile. So today we talked about just an overview and basic navigation. Next week, we're going to be getting into placing and managing stock trades. And when we do that, we'll obviously talk about using more of the overview and the positions tabs. We will also be getting into charting and setting up the charts how you prefer, okay? I want to thank you so much for attending today's session. As a homework assignment, I would like you to go out and download on your device the Thinkorswim mobile app and start practicing in the paper money using some of these features, getting comfortable with it. And as you do, I think you'll find that, wow, it's pretty powerful. And we'll look forward to actually tackling next week's session on placing and managing stock trades. Thank you actually to Ken being in the chat and answering the questions. And actually, this has really been session 1. Now, remember, these sessions are only 20 minutes, but today we just wanted to kind of talk about the overview of using the mobile platform. We'll see you same time next week, and this has been recorded, and so you could go back and review it at your leisure. With that said, I hope you have a great Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.